presents the Savannah Business Hall of Fame.
I love this. The dictionary is the only place where success comes before work. Herb Traub told the audience at the Junior Achievement Gala just that, and no one can speak with more authority about success or hard work than Herb. The Pirate's House, the XXX Drive-In, and Our House restaurants were how he made his living. And that was just the beginning of a lifetime of contributions. More than 6 million people visit Savannah every year. They spend well over $1 billion. That's a lot of chicken and biscuits, even for the Lady and Sons. So where do they go, these tourists who fill our streets and squares and stores? Downtown, of course, just as Herb Traub convinced them, or maybe their parents, to do.
Herb used to come by, he'd load up his car with brochures, and he would drive all over the state and different places, I'm sure out of state too, distributing those Chamber of Commerce folders, not pushing his restaurant or his activities that he had, doing it for the city of Savannah. Up until 1972, Herb basically was the Visitors and Convention Bureau guy.
Herb Traub held court at the corner of East Broad and Bay Streets, the Pirate's House, an eatery with a past, as they say in polite company.
That was the worst, most terrible section of Savannah you can imagine. The telephone rang and they called me to the phone. I said, "I'm sorry, I'm too big. I can't come to the phone now." "Well, it's Mr. Hansel Hilliard." He said that Mary wants to convert the Pirate House into a tea room, he said. I said, "Well, what did you have in mind?" He said, "Well, we just thought that it would be this would be a fabulous restaurant, the Pirate's House. It's got a lot of history, and I said, "Yeah, it's about to fall down too, isn't it?"
Hilliard called Traub because Traub already established himself as one of the city's premier entrepreneurs with his other restaurants, Our House and the appropriately named XXX.
That's where the people of your generation went to neck.
They did. They did. I know they did a lot of necking at Our House, and had a huge parking lot.
By the way, the Our House moniker was another bit of marketing magic out of the Traub bag of tricks.
And people go to a show, to Lucas, anywhere, and then after the show they say, "Let's go to Our House and get something to eat." "No, we don't want you to bother. No, let's go to some restaurant. We don't want you to. We're not going to your house." I didn't mean my house. I meant Our House.
Somehow, even without the raging teenage hormones and big parking lots, Herb made a go of the Pirate's House restaurant.
The national press found the Pirate's House intriguing and attractive.
At one time, we were the largest independently owned restaurant in the United States.
By being footsteps of the owner, he was there. And whether it was the Pirate's House or Our House restaurant, no matter what it was, he worked hard, long hours, and made it work.
What I saw was a place that was so well run that you didn't ever have to get into crisis mode.
One of the reasons it was well run could be Herb's eye for talent. Inspired hires, like a barkeep who became a judge.
I had a ponytail and I wore big glasses. This was pre-contact lenses for me. Kit was working there that summer. He called me Tweety Bird. What I noticed was that everybody was happy. The waitresses came back there in great moods. The bartenders were happy. I mean, there was this wonderful camaraderie that only later, did I look back, having worked at many restaurants, and realized that that had a lot to do with how the rhythm and the pace and the spirit that he set.
Pirate's House, a great restaurant and Savannah landmark, legacy enough for any reasonable man, but not legacy enough for Herb Traub.
In 1975, Herb had formed up Light Up Savannah, gotten approval from City Council, raised over $100,000 from members of Rotary, gained financial support from others, and lit the squares and monuments from Bay Street to Forsyth Fountain.
He created the fountains that are in Daffin Park Lake today, the jogging park, the lights that surround Daffin Park, and there's actually a monument out there that really is a lasting legacy for Savannah, for the Olympics, but also for Rotary, and I think that's very special. And that was something that really affected everybody in this community, not only with the Olympics coming, but Herb saw a way to create a legacy. Herb had a vision for the Centennial Project for Rotary to put a clock in City Market. Not only did he want to put a clock, he wanted to put something that would be a lasting legacy to Rotary.
Herb's committee was basically Herb Traub.
He was a salesman par excellence.
He saw things that could be, and he worked to make them happen.
You approach people about that and they say, yeah, that's a great idea. Why don't you do it? Yeah.
Herb Traub's been doing it in the same location for 90 years now, a feat so esteemed it inspired an original ballad by the world-famous Crabettes. He lives in the same house and the same neighborhood he was born in. You get the impression that he's never even considered living anywhere else.
Even the name Savannah sounds good.
Herb he's just one of those wonderful people that just moves around, and you don't see him, you don't hear about him, but you see the results of what he's been working on.
He's not a take charge kind of guy, but he's going to be involved, and at the end, everybody knows who is in charge.
He's also a man that never has a frown on his face. He always has a smile. He always has a twinkle in his eye.
A jewel and a treasure.
He just acted like he liked other people, and I think he really did. I think he really does like people of every walk in life.
He's had his hands in so many great things for Savannah, and he does it with such grace and style and humility, never taking credit for anything, but he deserves a lot.
And if I was able to do anything to improve my hometown, that gave me extreme pleasure.
One of the classiest men in our community, that's for sure. When we come right back, we'll tell you the story of the man who brought health